Women don't listen to men. Women think that men were created to serve them. So if you ain't serving them, they don't want to hear nothing you got to say, because at the end of the day, women think
we raise boys to control their natures, but we don't raise girls to control their natures. Boys are told, you got to control your sexual nature, you got to control your aggression. What do we tell girls to control?
She can stay. Yeah, she ain't even made it to the floor yet, Charleston. She don't need to make it to the floor.
So I just left spoken word in Atlanta, and I must say it's very disappointing. There was a black woman that got up there on the stage, and she's the main feature. And when she got up there, she did this poem referencing her ex and how much she wishes that he doesn't exist, that his beard never matches his sideburns, etc., etc. And the most horrific thing about it is the black people was actually in there absorbing all of that information in their head.
And it's always the men talking about you belong to the streets. Bro, you are the streets. You are the dirty, nasty, rat-infested. You're a rat carrying a pizza on a subway in New York, nigga. You are the streets. But because you're not enough for her, and then she ends up with a beautiful man inside and out, and she moved on. We can't stigmatize women moving on.
House cleaning before we get started. For those who have been rocking with me from day one, I appreciate the support. For those who may be new here, coming in or out the door for me, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, get it cracking in the comments. Every bit of your engagement absolutely helps promote me into the YouTube algorithm. I thank y'all for the support. Now let's get to it. Drop the video. Let's go.
women don't listen to men. Women think that men were created to serve them. So if you ain't serving them, they don't want to hear nothing you got to say, because at the end of the day, women think that this is we need to teach males to do this. Women want men to be women. Women want society to transform a male into a female. Women hate women. Women hate each other. But they want to get a man and then make him embody all of the characteristics of a woman.
Look, even a broken clock is right twice a day. I have a question. When she was peddling misandry to the lowest common denominator of women, right? Projecting these dysfunctional pathologies to women, did you ever think that it would come back and bite you in the ass? Did you ever think you would get exposed by the very women you were preaching this misandry to? See, here's the thing. She's absolutely right. Like, the women that are toxic and dysfunctional that come to social media and sit up all day on panels on TikTok and on YouTube, peddling misandry, telling their audience that men are not human beings, men can't love. She actually said that herself too. Men don't know how to love. Men are incapable of love. When y'all are doing all this, right? Clocking those dollars, getting those super chats, getting all those viral moments, did it ever cross your mind that it has an end point? You have an end game. Like, nothing lasts forever. And now that your misandrous feminist train has come to an end because you got exposed for being like the very men you claim were so destructive that you mirrored those characteristics. Now the light bulb has clicked. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that women are also just as problematic as men can be. Now you want to be balanced. Now you want to say, well, women don't listen to men, and women want women want men to be men, but have females inside of them, right? So now you have common sense. Now you can be fair and balanced and say that both sides have issues, but you weren't willing to do that a couple of years ago when you was making all this loot by peddling misandry. I don't hear anything she actually has to say. I put this video on here just to prove a point that the manosphere has been right, and she knows they have, because the manosphere was her biggest opponent. And she went about to try to dismantle the manosphere only to mirror a parrot their talking points. How low have you fallen?
We raise boys to control their natures, but we don't raise girls to control their natures. Boys are told, You got to control your sexual nature. You got to control your aggression. What do we tell girls to control?
Right. Nothing.
Nothing. But they have to control their emotions. And whenever I have said that, the left wing on the internet goes crazy that this is misogyny. Oh, we have to control our emotions. Well, first of all, everybody has to control their emotions. But the notion that women are not born perfect,
Right.
is insulting to them.
Look, he wasn't lying. Like, the notion that women are not perfect is bigotry, is misogyny, is bashing them. Like the women on social media and a lot of women on the left. Because like I say, in reality, black women, women in general, don't have time for these discussions. They don't have time for this nonsense. They're out here trying to work and earn a living. This is nothing more than social media prattle, right? But he has a point. Boys are taught to control every bit of their nature, right? Because they've deemed masculine nature to be unsafe, to be at times toxic, to be fundamentally wrong. Whereas everything about women's nature is to be celebrated, to be applauded, and that women are born deities. And it's just not true. There are women who are just as destructive. There are women who are just as problematic and dysfunctional as their male counterparts. But they're not demonized. They're given grace. Because in this society, women are just given grace. And I'm not saying that the fairer gender shouldn't be given grace, but at times, it's an overcorrection of the past. A past that, by the way, black men didn't have anything to do with. But it's an overcorrection. And we have to understand that, yes, little girls, young ladies, and women are human beings before they are a gender. And they have to be taught that certain aspect of their nature has to be controlled. Your emotions have to be under control. That's part of the emotional intelligence that they seem to ignore. The controlling your emotions, to have proper judgment of your emotions. That's emotional intelligence as well. Not just being able to empathize with someone's emotions, but also controlling one's own emotions.
She can stay. Yeah, she ain't even made it to the floor yet, Charleston. She don't need to
Hey.
to the floor. Can she introduce herself? No.
No.
Yeah, let her introduce herself.
I'm Martina.
She can stay.
Man, you too old for this, Charleston. Like, man, I don't. What the hell is this? Like, Charleston White, you're too old to be behaving like this. Let that young chickie go. I mean, I can't say she isn't attractive, but damn, man, you never seen an attractive woman in your life? You're just acting like a horn dog and ain't never seen. Look at the other dude. Like, he is intently staring like, damn. I get it. She has on a very revealing dress. It's very short. She's attractive. But man, you gentlemen, gotta learn to take it easy. Act as if you've had some. Act as if you've seen an attractive woman in your life. All right, Martinez was attractive, but you don't have to act like that, Charleston. Like, calm down, man. You're too old for that. Jesus. Charleston White was willing to risk it all. Man, look at him. He like, man, I'll throw all this away for that one. Let's go to the next one.
So I just left spoken word in Atlanta, and I must say it's very disappointing. There was a black woman that got up there on the stage, and she's the main feature. And when she got up there, she did this poem referencing her ex and how much she wishes that he doesn't exist, that his beard never matches his sideburns, etc., etc. And the most horrific thing about it is the black people was actually in there absorbing all of that information in their head. This is the reason why the black community is never going to excel, because you guys keep on allowing other hurt individuals, other bitter individuals, other individuals that refuse to forgive. Y'all keep on giving these people platforms, not even realizing that everything they're saying, you're absorbing in your mind, which is contradiction and challenging everything that you believe in.
Look, at the end of the day, misandry is acceptable. Like, I've heard women a lot of times on social media, not in reality, say misandry doesn't exist. Misandry isn't harmful, but misogyny is. You have a small contingent of feminists and misandrists who unfortunately slide into all aspects of life, spoken word, poetry. They're everywhere. And they're going to bring that bitter, miserable misandry everywhere they go. And at the end of the day, you as a person have to determine what you intake into your being, what you listen to. And you have to sometimes turn it off. You have to remove yourself from it because it can seep and fester inside of you. And you'll begin to exude a lot of this bitter, miserable prattle that a lot of these women that flock to social media and get in their little misandry circles on TikTok and YouTube and project this foul nastiness. They are miserable and misery loves company. They want you to be bitter and broken like they are. And a lot of times, like I said, it's conversion. It's conversion propaganda to bring you over to their side because they want more ladies to look at. They want more access to different ladies. And if they can bring y'all aboard their misandrous nonsense, they will. And they want you over on that side because they're quite frankly very miserable. And they're not desirable a lot of times to start.
And it's always the men talking about you belong to the streets. Bro, you are the streets. You are the dirty, nasty, rat-infested. You're a rat carrying a pizza on a subway in New York, nigga. You are the streets. But because you're not enough for her, and then she ends up with a beautiful man inside and out, and she moved on. We can't stigmatize women moving on. Y'all want us to settle for less so bad. But when a woman doesn't settle for less and she knows when to dip and dive, you're like, she's a slut. Because you're not good enough for her? Now she belongs to the streets? It's not the first. Remember when Ray J was like, I hit it first? Like, it ain't cute to be the first. That's not the cute one. It's the last. Who's good enough to be the last? The first is easy. I'm experimenting, bro. Of course you were the first. I don't know what I'm doing. You don't know. It's fine. But if I'm an experienced woman who has done my sexual due diligence, who has dated and kissed all the frogs, and then you are the prince and you get to be the last one, you're the one who lets me see that I don't want any of that, you're it.
Man, someone needs to give her an award. I've never seen someone try to flip reality on its ear like she just did. The mental gymnastics she went through to try to convince us that the guy that's last in a ran through woman's sexual history is the lucky blessed one. By the way, this is Superhead. You know, the woman that was a video vixen, ran back and forth between different rappers and entertainers, wrote 2 books disclosing all her sexual proclivities, was ran through by the whole entire industry, even started doing corn, wants to tell you that men are the streets. And I agree with her. I know y'all might find that hard to believe, but I actually agree. The men that women like her find sexually desirable are the streets. Now, here's the thing. If you're a woman and you see a path and you choose to go on the path and you choose the path of the streets, that makes you a street runner. And you know why you're a street runner? Because you belong in them streets. You belong to the streets. That saying is still very true. If you choose to run the streets, you're a street runner and you belong in them streets. Hence, you belong to the streets. Yeah, you can say men are the streets, and they are. The men that a lot of you women find attractive are in fact the streets. But guess what? If you don't choose that path, you wouldn't know that they are for the streets. You wouldn't know that those men are laying roads for women to go down to become part of the streets if you in fact don't take those paths. See, you're responsible for every decision you make in life as an adult. You're responsible. And if you choose to indulge in a sexually promiscuous life, then you can't blame anyone but yourself. And you can't later on try to flip reality and say, oh, I was experimenting. The first one ain't none to the first one. It was easy. Of course it's easy because women are the gatekeepers of sex. So it's easy for y'all to bed down as many men as you like. Of course it's easy for you. Of course it's easy for you to say that the guy that you found desirable got it easy. But here's the thing. Your sexual past matters. It matters. Your body count matters. And the reason it matters is because men don't want to wife up Superhead. That's all I got, man. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Get it cracking in the comments. I see y'all in the credits. 2 fingers. Peace. I'm out. Catch y'all in the next one. This is sad. Why these can spin stories? I'm out of here. Black Jesus.